Hello everyone and welcome to the Anime Zillia, and thanks for joining me as we talk about another ending route from the We Never Learn manga series that never actually happened. Now of course I'm referring to the character of Mizuki Yuiga, Naruyuki's younger sister. Now as we know, she has a brother complex, which basically means she possesses love for her brother that basically exceeds a normal standard brother-sister relationship that you would normally come to expect. Now, personally speaking, I find this brother complex a little bit weird and pointless from her character. Nevertheless, let's look at a possible ending route that could play out that helps her develop, grow, and maybe a bit more likable by the end of this arc. So with her being Naruyuki's sister and all of the ending routes so far that we've known from the franchise, ending with the main girl of focus dating our protagonist, I think this route calls for a bit more of a comedic setting. With some backstory thrown in with the character, building the character up by giving us some more focus and reasoning as to why she loves Naruyuki the way that she does. With the main theme being jealousy. Giving Mizuki the spotlight would help develop her character in the process. Again, trying to make her a bit more likable, a bit more appealing, and make us as the audience at the end of this route go, you know what, Mizuki's not too bad. Or it could have the negative effect and make us hate her even more. We'll have to wait and see. Now personally, I would start off with the beginning of this route, having it so that the first couple of chapters is Mizuki determined to confess her true feelings to Naruyuki. However, every time she has a chance to tell Naruyuki how she truly feels, Yuiga gets called away by one of our main female characters. Now when I say main female characters, I'm of course referring to Rizu, Furuhashi, Urika, Azumi, and Kirisu. Now out of frustration and jealousy, Mizuki would find a way to humiliate the girl that Naruyuki is currently with, without both Naruyuki and the targeted female knowing who is behind these childish pranks. Mizuki's mindset would basically go along the lines of this. If she makes the girls look silly in front of Naruyuki, then she hopes that he will get put off by the girl and stop spending time surrounded by all of these beautiful women. Thus, again, playing to her jealous traits as she's shown throughout the series, as well as making her seem a bit more immature, which works with the age range of this character. Of course, she's a very young character, so it means that she is going to be rather childish. So some of the pranks could be really silly, but also really creative and really comedic if done correctly. So I want to know what your personal ideas are for how Mizuki can humiliate one of the main female characters. Let me know in the comment section down below. I'll be interested to see what creative, fun pranks you can think of. Maybe something similar to just putting a bag of flour on top of a door, making the girl walk through it, and of course the flour drenches the girl from head to toe, making her covered in flour. I don't know, maybe you can think of a better one in the comments down below. Go for it, I know you can. So we fast forward a little bit in time now, and basically all the main girls have been humiliated by Mizuki, and ultimately Naruyuki finds out the truth and questions his sister about her reasons for doing so. This is where we get Mizuki's feelings expressed out on the opening, thus triggering more backstory, and we can also link that new backstory to the flashback we had already within the main timeline, in where her character was very depressed and sad about going to school after her dad passed away. But Naruyuki helped her regain her courage and made her smile again afterwards. So this is where we know at the moment where her feelings for Naruyuki stem from. But we need a bit more context. We need a bit more story to make us really believe that a relationship between this brother and sister combo can actually work and be fruitful by the end of it. So when I say getting more backstory and more context, I mean actually having a bit more interaction shown between Mizuki and Naruyuki. Obviously the manga would have to try and convey the connection and the presentation as to why Mizuki feels the way that she does towards Naruyuki, to help us as the audience get behind the character and make us go, Okay, I can see her logic, I can understand why she feels that way now. This makes sense. Because at the moment, we hardly have that. All we see is Mizuki being a jealous, creepy younger sister. We need something more to break us out of that mindset and make us believe in the character a little bit more. Finally though, this conversation between Naruyuki and Mizuki ends with Mizuki asking Naruyuki to consider her feelings and stay away from the other girls, as Naruyuki is too dense to understand what's happening around him. As Mizuki knows that both Uruka, Rizu, Furuhashi, Azumi and Kirisu all have affection towards Naruyuki and have some form of romantic feelings towards him. But Naruyuki obviously isn't aware of that. All Naruyuki is trying to do is do his duties as their tutor. But Mizuki is scared that one of the females is going to take her brother away from her and thus, do something bad to Naruyuki in the process. So that's why she's reaching out to him, telling him how she truly feels and asking him, requesting that he stays away from them and considers her feelings towards him. However, this chapter ends before we get an answer from Naruyuki. But what does follow is a dream-like sequence in where Mizuki sees each of the main female characters in a future scenario. However, not all is positive. She sees Furuhashi letting herself go completely, and now Furuhashi owns 7 cats, with her favourite anime show being a redo of Healer. Sorry Furuhashi, you'll get better soon, stay strong. Uruka is still swimming and trying to follow her dream as swimming in nationals. However, she's losing every event that she appears in, looking very defeated and deflated all the time. She's walking around with a black cloud over her head, very depressed as she tries to push forward and allow at least one of her dreams to come true. Rizu has moved away, but is still slaving away in the kitchen/restaurant, never getting a moment's rest, and has completely given up on her dreams. No longer does she have any desire to play games. Kirisu has gotten even more serious and unfriendly, stricter towards her students, earning the new title, Queen of Demonic Ice. Every time a student raises their hand, she glances and basically kills them 10 times over with her devilish stare. As for Azumi, she's still pursuing her career in wanting to become a doctor. However, having to operate on a patient too quickly without the correct knowledge or confidence, she's unable to save the lives of her patients. This leads to a lot of inner suffering, as she's seen loads of families condemn her, curse her, give her negative feedback and comments because she's been unable to save the lives of others' loved ones. As we know from Azumi's route, Naruyuki gave her confidence, knowledge and the strength to overcome her own struggles. But, of course, all of these bad things that happened to the other girls, including Azumi, they all stem from Mizuki's selfish wish to have Naruyuki suddenly abandon these girls when they needed him the most. Understanding this, Mizuki wakes up and tells Naruyuki not to leave those he is currently tutoring, and explains the signs to watch out for when the girls are interested in him, so that Naruyuki can defend himself against the masses of girls that flock to him and try to subdue him or seduct him with the devilish charm, looks and kind words. Now, this route would end with Naruyuki smiling, telling his sister that no matter what happens, she will always have a place within his heart. After all, Naruyuki loves his sister. This makes Mizuki smile and run around oblivious to the fact that Naruyuki ends that sentence with, like a brother would. So the reason why I end it like this is simply because we have a win for Mizuki's character. But then we don't have that horrible brother-sister proper intimate relationship idea going on in the story. I think the story would not benefit from that happening. But of course, it would benefit from a character like Mizuki having some development and progressing more, developing more, and giving us as the audience something to remember her by instead of something negative. You know, she needs something positive going with their character. And if at the end of the day she feels like she's won, but we know as an audience that she hasn't, because Naruyuki actually states like a brother should, then of course it's a win-win for all parties involved. So then, what do you think of this as a route? Do you want to see this happen, or do you possibly have another way for Mizuki's character to have an ending route with Naruyuki? If so, let me know what your scenarios would be in the comment section down below. I'll be very interested to hear what you have to say. However, I do hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, consider hitting that like button and subscribe for more anime related content from this channel in the future. But above all else, have a wonderful day. Arigato, matane, goodbye.